Get ready for the impact, no way to take it back. This is the steel and canvas, this ain't no time for practice. High stakes, spectacle, adrenaline attack. Welcome to Slammin' It. Slammin' It.
And welcome to another installment of Slammin' It on this hot-ass Tuesday afternoon. I am Mando Medina, along with the Jack of Rock, Jack Lutz. What's up, baby? How are you today?
You know, I'm thankful that I'm indoors, staying hydrated, keeping my bald head, just out of the sun, because this burns easily, baby. This burns
Very easily.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe. There
Are we
you go.
matching?
Right, we are matching right now. How crazy is that? I think it's the same type of shirt, too. No, it's not. But nonetheless, it's blue. We're looking pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I know we have Andy waiting on board, so we'll get to Andy here in a couple of seconds. But let's take care of some couple of business first, of course. The SummerSlam recap. We'll bring in Andy when we do that stuff. So a lot of stuff to get to. I do want to bring this up first before we get Andy on and Fonzie and everybody starts reacting. Remember the little wager we had there, Jack? The Hell in the Cell between Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. What was the over-under that you had, Jack?
12 minutes. I had the under.
12 minutes. Fonzie told me it was
great.
Fonzie told me it gets better. Fonzie told me it was it went over 13 minutes. I timed it myself, and it was 12 minutes and 3 seconds. I forgot to tell you that I was noticing that it had to refresh, so that added a couple of seconds. So me and Fonzie were all bragging that we were right because it went over 12 minutes. I had Andy do the same thing. I don't know if Andy timed it, but I saw the official time. The official time was 11 minutes and 39 seconds. So, Jack, you won the over-under. It went under the 12 minutes between Brock Lesnar and Obafemi.
Unbelievable.
So that was a great over-under to do that, so it was great to see. By the way, we're talking about all these matches, but why even have the cell? I mean, honestly, why even have the Hell in the Cell? I mean, they didn't use the cage at all. I didn't expect him to get on top of the cage and do some crazy stuff, but at least, like, the only time they threw anybody into the cage is when I think Hobo set up a table and threw Brock through that, and that was it. The rest of the stuff was basically like a hardcore match. But your thoughts on what you saw?
Cage.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on what you saw?
It could have been a steel cage match. It could have been just a no holds barred hardcore match, and the cell wasn't needed. The cell, I think, was just used to really play up the match between the two. None of that was needed. That being said, for the 11 minutes that the match lasted, I thought that it was pretty good. And, Brock did the right thing. He went out on his back and he put Oba over as well as he should have.
By the way, I like that Andy is waiting to speak, but he's always doing the commentating as well. He's telling us that just more hype and to sell the tickets. Which, by the way, that stadium was empty. It was empty, Jack. I don't know if you noticed that. That stadium was empty. Empty by their standards, but they have no business doing this 2 nights. There's no reason why they should be running this 2 nights.
If you notice, Mondo, whenever a PLE, whenever a pay-per-view does really, really well, WWE will do something. They'll always come out and say, The attendance tonight is a record-setting, blah, blah, blah. They didn't do it this past one. I don't think they did it the one before that either.
Nope.
So that tells you something.
Couple of things before we recap what's going on in SummerSlam. First of all, because it's Brock versus Oba, everybody was asking what's going to happen with Brock. Is he retired? Well, officially today he retired. At least that's what he says. He went on the Pat McAfee show and he said that he's retired. So our condolences to the Funk family as Dory Funk Jr. has passed away, of course. Legendary wrestler, of course, with the Funk family, of course, Terry Funk and all the Funks there. And so Dory Funk passes away. I believe he was 85 years old. Stephanie Paquette is back. Randy Orton is back. KO is back. Big Cass is back, and we do have a major injury. Brie Bella has a broken right scapula that happened when JC Jane ran into her into when she was laying on the steps to get in there. So that's some of the stuff we're going to get into. Like I said, I want to get your thoughts on what happened in SummerSlam. So let's bring in Andy, because I know Andy has got some stuff going on before he's got to leave. So, Andy, what's up, brother? How are you today? Oh, we cannot hear Andy. We cannot hear you, Andy. Turn on your microphone.
Whoa.
There you
All
go.
right, there.
There you
It
go.
was
His
muted.
mic was muted.
What are
What's
they?
going on?
Yeah.
What's going on, brother?
I, I thought the show was better than I expected. Um,
Yeah.
there were some matches that were horrible, but for the most part, I think it was not surprisingly better, but it was good. It was good. I'll rate it on the higher end. Did you notice Aaron Jones right
Yep.
behind the commentary?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
day two. Aaron Jones was there day two. He was filming, and it's good. If you follow him on Instagram, he got a lot of the Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins stuff. It was pretty cool to see. Yeah.
It was right in front of him, so that was really cool. So
All right,
there's a
so
little
yeah, going into
Southwest
going into this, I thought night one was going to be better than night two. I was wrong. At the end of the day, night two was better. At least that's how I felt.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Jack, what did you
Yeah.
think? Which one did you like more, night one or night two?
Yeah, I thought night two was the show stealer. I thought night two, man, I think that we saw a match of the year on night two. That is the Intercontinental Championship. So I think that really carried night two over the hill for me. So
Andy, what'd you think?
I agree that second night was better. Now I got to not watch it in its entirety the night one, but I had a feeling Randy was going to come back. We talked about it here in the office. I mean, a lot of guys and gals around me are surprised that I like it as much as I do, but I said no way that Cody wins it. He's gonna get some interference from Randy, and it was exactly the way that played out. So that was neat. But having that match, the Intercontinental match, the championship match was pretty good, and they did their little Dean Ambrose, tributes, and then
Kurt
you've
Angle
got
tribute.
Yeah, Kurt Angle.
yeah.
Say what you want to say. Do you see what we're saying that because Kurt Angle put up that today? It was pretty funny. By the way, what was he dressed up at? Was he Buzz Lightyear? What was it? What comic
that's
or
what I
anime? Jack, I turned your expert. I announced you the anime expert or whatever.
Please don't.
Do you have any?
Please
Do you have
don't.
any idea what that was? It looked like
Please
'cause
don't. I'm not the anime guy.
At
I'm not
first,
the
I thought it
anime
was
guy.
maybe Naturo or Dragon Ball Z. I mean,
Naruto.
I knew the mask was what Dean Ambrose used to wear, but all the other stuff I didn't understand. I mean, was he Buzz Lightyear? I don't know. I mean, the pants look like Buzz Lightyear, but I don't know. I mean, flamboyant nonetheless. So back to what you talked about with Randy Orton. How about Kevin Owens? I thought Kevin Owens was going to come out
shocker.
and interfere. I didn't think he was actually going to wrestle. So now he's the number one contender. So before we move on to anything else, your thoughts on KO versus CM Punk. Andy, we begin with you.
I think that is going to be a pretty hot feud going into the fall. Now, with all of their bigger feuds, they're blurring the lines a lot for who's really the heel and who's really the face. So it just depends on who they're feeling at the moment. And I think you're going to have that kind of thing going on because both championship matches had that. You had that with Penta and Chad Gable going on. And I think you're going to have something similar with now Becky Lynch coming back and Stephanie. Who's the face and who's the heel? And I think that's going to be the theme going into the upcoming year. Led off with Kevin Owens and CM Punk, and they'll have their battles.
Jack, your thoughts on KO versus CM Punk?
Good to see Kevin Owens back. Don't think he should have won the match. I think it's a slap in the face to Finn Balor. I think it just goes to show that the company doesn't believe in the guy. That the company, if they're going to be doing a slow burn effect, if they're going to be doing a triple threat, something like that, they're doing a piss poor way of doing it. My 2 cents.
Well, I mean, and that's what people are saying, that everybody thought that Finn Balor should get the shot. He got the shot last year when they were when they were doing the tour, remember? And but he didn't get it. But let's be honest, of everybody that they got out there right now, do you really think they're going to put the Undisputed Championship on Finn Balor? Let's be honest, like right now with everybody that they have on their roster, let's be realistic. Are they
No.
going to put exactly? I mean, would I like
No.
to it? Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing with Finn, he's got to win the United States Championship first, so he can get the gold around his waist. Do I think he's talented enough? Oh, hell yes, he should be. It's just bad luck that he got injured the night he won the first ever Undisputed Championship. And by the way, notice I'm not talking yet about my girl who won the championship. I'm excited because I predicted it. Jack, you're the one that predicted it too. But we'll talk about her, who had the biggest shot that she took at Michael Hayes was amazing. But still, when I talk about Finn Balor, I mean and see the biggest problem they have a bigger problem on SmackDown than they do on Raw, because on SmackDown you got CM Punk, you got Gunter, you got Cody, now you got KO, you got Finn Balor, you got Randy, and now you got Sammy. So that's 7 guys potentially that could be the world champion. You go to Raw, you got Roman, you got Seth, you got
LA Knight.
you got Jacob Fatu, possibly.
You're
Who else
pushing it with Jacob at this point. Yeah.
I exactly, because they're not going to go. They're not going to do Jey Uso again.
No.
So you see the problem. Like I only mentioned like maybe 3 or 4 guys on Monday Night Raw that could really be the champion. Oh, obviously Oba, but we know they're not going to put the title on Oba until WrestleMania. You know that's going to happen. We'll talk about him and Braun Breaker in a couple of seconds, but realistically, like maybe 3 guys on Raw compared to 7 guys on SmackDown. So you see the bigger problem that SmackDown has compared to Raw when it comes to the champion, gentlemen.
Does Drew McIntyre come back sometime soon for Raw? I mean, that's who I thought. I completely lost track of Kevin Owens. I thought it was going to be Drew McIntyre making the appearance.
Well,
but we'll see where it ends up.
Drew's busy shooting the Highlander right now. If you check out some new photos, Drew looks incredibly aged. He let his gray hair out, and he got Russell Crowe back in shape. So there's a nice little photo of Drew and Russell Crowe together.
They're doing
shooting Highlander.
Are they doing a side chest pose? Is that what's going on? I'm just from the top
well, they're
of my
just
head.
doing
side.
They're just doing a side bicep.
Yeah, there you go.
Side chest.
There you go. Jack will give us the. Well, hold up. Let me give you the full thing. Go ahead, give it to us.
Yeah.
Now. There you go.
So side chest, side chest.
All right.
As you do this.
There you go. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, there you go. As you can tell, Jack works out. And Henry Cavill is the Highlander. I was asking about Spider-Man, but we'll talk about that later. So Felipe does send us a message, and it's a message that makes me very happy. He says, so happy that Chelsea Green won the ladder match and is the interim WWE champion there. Congratulations. He asked, guys, what do you think of it? Also, what do you think about Trick losing? That one I was kind of surprised about. I was surprised that they took the title off him and put it on Baron Corbin. Jack, you're already shaking. What do you think about that? What do you think about Baron winning the championship?
Again, same thoughts with Baron that I have with KO. Glad that he's back. Sucks that he won. I mean, what did they have to do? Like, we're not going to change the heavyweight championship titles. Let's change the mid-card titles. Let's have that. Let's send the people home happy by having a mid-card championship change. So I just don't think I don't think that Corbin deserved the championship.
Andy, what'd you think?
I think what a way to make him relevant, put a title on him, but agreed that why bring him back that quickly? And that, I mean, he's got good background. He's former NFL guy, jiu-jitsu champion. He's got the pedigree, but that was a surprise. That was probably the biggest surprise of that happening. I mean, Chelsea, we all kind of were rooting for it, and it happened, and that was a beautiful thing. But Baron Corbin, I don't know. That was a little surprising.
The person I feel bad for, and it's gonna just show you how bad it is. Like, I can't remember the other one. It's Trick Williams, Baron Corbin, and the other one. that he missed WrestleMania. They didn't put him on WrestleMania, and they also didn't. He was in that feud with Trick Williams before Baron Corbin came in, and he was not. He used to be the NXT champion as well before Trick Williams. He's been
They
there
were
for
in
like
a little stable on NXT, and you
yeah.
said that, and now his name is
I can't remember his name, but and
Type it in.
yeah. But the problem is that he has missed two big pay-per-views, WrestleMania and now SummerSlam, and I think they should have made it a three-way with Trick Williams, Baron Corbin.
Thought you were about to say a 3-night.
Yeah, I was about to say that, but nonetheless, Carmelo Hayes.
Carmelo
Thank you,
Hayes.
Carmelo
thank you, Felipe, there, and also to your brother. So you feel bad for Carmelo because Carmelo's doing nothing but the right thing, doing everything they're asking. He's asking him to do, kind of like LA Knight, and for the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, he is like brushed to the side. So I think they got to get him involved. So now let's talk about Chelsea Green. It was obvious from the crowd reaction that when she almost got the championship the first time, the crowd, let's be honest, the crowd was dead. There was 2 times, actually there's 3 times where the crowd was dead. On Saturday, no disrespect, it was the Fatal Influence versus Paige and the Bella Twins, and like I said, no disrespect, that was the match you was going to be
Sure.
like that. And the only thing big that came out of that is that the Bella Twins turned on Paige, and unfortunately, we talked about how Brie got injured. And then on Sunday, it was the Dominic Mysterio and the Danhausen match. That was a stupid ass match. You know, like they're getting close to, as much as I love Danhausen and everything he's doing. And the one person I feel bad for is Joe Hendry. Is like they're trying to put Joe Hendry everywhere, and like it is just not working right now for Joe Hendry. It's kind of like it's going down pretty quickly for Mr. Henry there. But that match was like whatever, right? But the latter match, when everybody else had the opportunity to get the title, the crowd was kind of dead. But as soon as Chelsea got up there, and the first time she almost had the belt, and I was already going crazy, give it to her, just she deserves it. And then everybody was going crazy in the crowd, and then they didn't give it to her because you had the other ones interfere for Storm, Jade Cargill, and when she actually got up there and won, that's the only time that the place really went crazy for that match. So it was well deserved. And my favorite part of that match, afterwards, post-game show, she says, like, I'm dedicating this title to Michael Hayes. So that was hilarious because if you know, if you know, you know. Last year in season 2 of Unreal, it was Road
Michael
Dogg.
Hayes had said she
No,
was
but it was
championship
Road Dogg.
material.
It was Road Dogg saying that, hey, we should put the championship on Chelsea. And it was Michael Hayes that says, no, she's just like a filler person. She's the one that elevates
It
the
makes
other
others
wrestlers.
look better.
So I
Yeah.
thought that was great. It was
Talent.
great. Go ahead. And so, Andy, your thoughts on Chelsea winning the championship?
Oh, I mean, it well deserved. Puts her now into a different category. When they win the big one, it puts them into a different category. Say, Sami Zayn held it, 9 days. Finn Balor held it 1 day, but they can always say they were the WWE champion. So that is a great thing for her. She's married to Matt
Zack
Cardona.
Ryder. Yes, Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder, and so, will he ever get there? Probably not. It's kind of like Mickey James and Nick Aldis. So it's good. It's good for women's wrestling, and she's very likable. A lot of people cheer her on and follow her and follow them as a couple, and so that's good business.
Yep,
That's
Jack.
good business.
Jack, your thoughts?
Well, let me cap it by saying I don't think Nick Aldis will be WWE champion. I think once Nick Aldis's contract expires, I think he'll jump over to AEW. The dude's 39 years old. He's got a lot left in the tank. We got to see that, with his match against Gunther. That also being said, with Chelsea winning the title, look, man, when she was outside biding her time, there are photos of her like looking up outside, and then she's going in. From what I understand, the crowd reaction was very, very hot when she was biding her time, and then when she went back in to climb the ladder, to get the belt. So my thing is that are they going to be tagging her with interim champion? interim champion, because we're going to have a unification here. We're going to have a unification. So here's the thing. Will she be the undisputed, unified champion?
That's a very good question. It all depends how hot she can get between now and whenever Rhea Ripley comes back. Let's be honest.
Baby.
I'm telling you right now, but it all depends to the people in the back, But a lot of people, like, if you can look it up, Lucha Underground, she has a tremendous match. And when I say tremendous, I'm downplaying it. She has a badass match versus Penta. Yes, versus Penta. Go find it. It's on Lucha Underground. It is a hell of a match. It is a tremendous match. Penta, yes, you heard me correctly. Penta versus Chelsea Green. Yeah. It is amazing. I'm happy about that. Before we move on from you, Andy, your brother text, it says, where's Dragunov and Jordan Grace, MIA like Carmelo Hayes. I think Dragunov really hasn't recovered after those chops that he put on Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. He just kind of blew him off.
If I'm not mistaken, they asked for their release. And I think they're both gone. If I'm not mistaken.
We'll check on that, especially with Jordan Grace. When Jordan Grace came in from TNA, remember she came in TNA champion, Knockouts champion in the Royal Rumble, and then it just shows you sometimes it's not like good. It just shows you like how hard it is to hit when you get on the main roster. It's very hard. Yeah. They're gonna give you a push to start, and then like, whether or not you gravitate towards the crowd or not, that is up to you. But we'll see. Like some people like Olbo instantly, Danhausen instantly, and some other ones starting, and they just kind of fade into the back. That's why when you talk about Nick Aldis, I was so happy to see him wrestle. Look, we talked about it. He looked great, but I'm happy that he decided to go back being the GM for now, because like, let's just say if he would have wrestled, like he might have been out for like maybe 3 months, and after that he would just faded into the background. Let's be honest.
I think he's wasting his time. I think it's a complete waste of time of his talents to be an on-screen character on WWE TV. The he's a performer. He needs to be wrestling in a ring.
Andy, you can just say this instead of just commenting. Just say it.
I didn't want to lose the thought. Blake Monroe's another one that falls into that. She had a major feud over at AEW with Tony Storm. I mean, that was an epic feud. Comes over, goes to NXT to, hone her craft a little bit better. Gets moved up to the main roster, but has anyone really seen much of her at all?
She hasn't wrestled yet. She hasn't had an official match on TV, which I don't understand what they're waiting for. Felipe said probably. Felipe says he was hoping Triple H was offering Nick Aldis a wrestling contract instead of his general manager spot. Like I said, those are my thoughts when it comes to. We all know Aldis can go, but at the end of the day, I think he would just fade unless they move them to Raw. But nonetheless, it is what it is. Andy, before we let you go, your thoughts on the tremendous career of Brock Lesnar, who did announce his retirement earlier today during the Pat McAfee show.
I mean, he is the greatest combat sport crossover guy of all time. I think he pulled a fast one on the WWE and pulling his retirement at WrestleMania, and then somehow, some way, he got talked back into doing it. If the plan was for him to retire here on this past weekend the whole time, he wouldn't have done the WrestleMania thing. But he marches to his own tune all the time, and I'm kind of glad that he pulled that one and shocked the world. But it was like, oh no, I was just kidding. It's actually going to happen later. But to go from WWE to the NFL to UFC and to do this stuff, I mean, yeah, he didn't play in the NFL, but still, he spent time in training camp, and you hear stories about how he was, he could hold his own with those guys. So he just could do it everywhere. Champion in college and the best of all time, natural, pure, raw energy kind of athlete.
He's a throwback. He's like basically, and he looked just like a Viking, like a real Viking, like that they were back in the day. So, Jack, we'll get your thoughts in a couple of seconds. Andy, I appreciate you, bro. All right, we'll do it again next week. All right. There's my man Andy joining us. Jack, your thoughts on the history of Brock Lesnar.
Oh, man, this goes way back to when you and I were doing
That is
slamming
correct.
it. When,
That is
when we're
correct.
talking about
That's how
when we're talking
long
about
it's how long ago he's been around. Think about that.
yeah. When we're talking about, Brock going against Rock, when we're talking about Brock going against Kurt, Brock going against Eddie. I remember when I think I was doing the weekends, Rock Station in El Paso, and I remember Eddie was taking on Brock on the pay per view, and everybody was like, "Dude, Brock's gonna destroy him. Brock's gonna destroy him." And then you called me up, and you're like, "He did it."
Yep.
And he did it,
Yep.
So, man, this is kind of closing a chapter, for us, kind of. That's how I feel, and I feel that he's earned his rest. The dude has gotten his flowers. He deserves his flowers and then some. So, will he be completely gone from the company? I guess we'll see. I think he's gonna just hang out. He's gonna chill out. But I don't think he's going to be gone. I think he'll probably have some role, maybe. That's if he wants it. That's if he, he's even interested in that.
Yeah, I recall that as well. I agree with you too that I don't think he's done. He's going to come out for the paycheck, whatever. But the nights that you talk about, that was a electric night in King's X, because that was when we're doing that back then when he actually paid to watch him. And we'd have the viewing parties, and that's when Eddie won the world championship, the WWE championship from Brock Lesnar. That was a tremendous night. I remember that. It's such a long time ago. Fonzie says, "Don't forget NCAA champion." Yep, in wrestling, did a good job with that. Andy says, once again, when I just talked about being from the championship, what a great memory. Fonzie says Brock beat Taker 2 times in Hell in a Cell. That is correct. That's when Hell in a Cell was really Hell in a Cell. A couple of things before I forget, because we got so much stuff to get to. The Royal Rumble is gonna be 6 hours away from here, my brother. 6 for me, 5 for you. The Royal Rumble is gonna be in Arizona, in Phoenix. February of next year. So I don't know. Maybe we get a little road trip going on. And first we got to see if we can afford the tickets, y'all. That's the first thing.
Put the tickets on a firm.
And from what I could tell, it's going to be a one-night thing. Dana White was out there at the stadium. I guess it's the State Farm Stadium. That's where the Cardinals play. He announced like a bunch of 6 things going on there that TKO was bringing, of course, UFC, then a couple of rodeo stuff, and then he did mention that the Royal Rumble is going to be in Phoenix. So the last time it was there, that's when Edge made his comeback in 19. So one of the things I remember right off the bat, so it's cool to see that the Rumble is going to be like a driving distance from us. It's in February, not in January, so I think that's cool to see. But back to Brock Lesnar. To think what he was doing in the UFC, he was doing it when he had that issue with his appendix.
Diverticulitis.
Correct. Say that 5 times very fast.
Diverticulitis.
to see, imagine if he wouldn't have had that, how dominant he would have been if he didn't have that. So at least I have the privilege of saying that I saw him wrestle. Actually, I saw him fight his last UFC fight. It might have been UFC 200. It was in Vegas. I can't remember. I can't remember who he fought, but it's like later on they came out that he tested positive for whatever, and I think they took the fight away from him. But I got to actually see him fight UFC in Vegas. Ooh, this was like almost 10 years. I think it was 10 years ago, at least 9 years ago.
Did he come down to El Paso for the SmackDown show? I can't remember.
Yes.
When it was you, me, Ronson, when we went to go watch that. Was he there? I just remember Rhino goring somebody through a UTEP football office. I remember that night.
Yeah, he might have. I
can't
think
remember.
He might have. Honestly, I can't remember. I
remember putting the Warrior paint on, and then I took my shirt off. And then
I remember
told me to put my shirt back on.
Yeah, because you didn't have the physique you have right now. You're wafer thin compared to the way you look like right now. But Brock Lesnar is gonna be like everybody's been saying, it's a 1-on-1. And that guy is gonna be tied to his music. As soon as you hear his wrestling music. But it's crazy because when he does the UFC, it was always Enter Sandman by Metallica, an all band very dear and near to your heart there, Jack.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but the one thing going into that pay per view that I remember, that UFC pay per view, is that I remember that he had gotten the okay to use the wrestling song for his UFC entrance, and I was waiting for that. They didn't, but still, it was pretty cool to see because the whole arena was singing the Enter Sandman song. It was great to see. It's great to be a part of that. Some like, even at that, those tickets were maybe like, I think like maybe 500 a piece, but still, it was UFC, a pay per view, and it turned out to be Brock Lesnar's last match, so a UFC title match. So the guy's 1-on-1, and the fact that he recognizes that Oba is the next big thing.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. A little bit of hypocrisy, because in the WWE Unreal, they talk about Braun Breaker, season 3, by the way. I don't know how much have you seen, but in one of the episodes, they talk about how they don't want to push Braun Breaker too much because they would just be force feeding him to the people. Yet they have no problem doing that when they did it to Roman Reigns. They have no problem what they're doing with
so far.
what they're doing with Danhausen right now. Like they're literally force feeding you Danhausen, and I think it's gonna burn out very quickly. I don't think it's gonna burn out with Obafemi, but a wrestler that took very offense to that not only was a Braun Breaker, but is also his tag team partner there from the Vision. What's his name? It's also Bronson Reed.
Theory?
Bronson Reed actually tweeted, like it's kind of hypocritical that they're force feeding you Oba, but they can't do Braun Breaker. I honestly thought on Monday it was going to be Bronson Reed that was going to kind of confront Obafemi, but I love the fact, because I was thinking, okay, well, where do you put Obafemi from now on? Like, we know the money game. We know if they don't get Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, the other match is going to be Oba versus Roman, and Oba's going to win the championship in Saudi Arabia in WrestleMania. That's the money match. We already know that. It's booked, like.
Are we calling it? Are we calling that?
I'm calling it. Like, if it's not Rock versus Roman, it's Oba versus Roman. And
why would they do Rock? I don't understand why they would bring an aged fossil
like I said,
like the Rock out.
You got to remember where the pay-per-view is going to be. It's going to be in Saudi Arabia, and they still like the guys from the Attitude Era. That's why we had that. That's why we had DX versus Undertaker and Kane in one of the most horrific tag team matches of all time there, but they pay the money, So I think honestly that's the main reason, because the Saudis want them. But like I said, if it doesn't happen, it's Oba versus Roman. But now, cause that's what I was thinking. Who are they going to put with Oba? And I think they picked the right person with Braun Breaker, because remember, Braun is supposed to be the guy that Oba has become. But it happens. You get injured. Somebody's always waiting to take your spot.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what happened with Braun Breaker. So now, your thoughts on Oba versus Braun Breaker?
It's unfortunate, this whole match. It's very, very unfortunate, because you got a kid in Braun, and he is a kid still. That he's one of those guys, and I think that you strap the rocket to him because he has the capability of being the guy as well. He's had these unfortunate events of getting injured. That being said, I think that there's still the plan is Oba becoming champion, and it's unfortunate right now that he's got to go through Braun to do it. And Braun's going to be one of the many few people that will put Oba over. And I think we also need to build Braun up too. Yep,
I think they got to do the same thing they did with Brock, where they do at least three. They do 3 matches where Oba wins the first one, Braun wins the second one, and then the third one you do something where one of them wins, but the other one still comes out looking very strong, kind of like they did with Roman and Seth. I was surprised Seth wasn't there on Monday Night Raw yesterday, though. I do have to say that. But still, that's what I expect, because I think with anybody, The first thing you got to do, they got to take that tag team championship away from them. But the other guys are injured, so I mean, what can you do? With
We're
Braun
leaving
Breaker,
somebody out. We're leaving somebody out. We haven't brought him up, and I think that the segment between the two is just money. And I think that these two performing against each other, I think they can draw a lot of money, and that's LA Knight and Roman
Yep.
Reigns. And I think this is another case where it's going to be very unfortunate too. Very unfortunate to dangle that carrot in front of LA Knight because he's not going to get it. He's not going to get the championship. I would love to be wrong. I'd love to people come up here and be like, well, shows what you know. I would love for that to happen, but I just don't see LA Knight winning the championship against Roman. And it sucks.
And I was very happy that they went with, because honestly, I was like, I was like, okay, they might do Oba. Who are they going to go? And then when I saw LA Knight, I was happy to see that. I was very happy, but like, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the exact same thing. Like Cody Rhodes, the run to the championship, where you're going to have Sami Zayn beating Roman Reigns for the championship would have made more sense, 3 or 4 years ago, what it was, than when he won his championship against Cody Rhodes finally. I think that was kind of like, hey, we recognize that you really should have won it, because that's when he was white hot, was Sami Zayn. When he had, I think it was the one right before WrestleMania against
For Cody
Roman
cheered him
Reigns.
on. You can do it.
Correct, and he didn't. And I think that's why they finally rewarded him. So I think LA Knight, realistically, he'll win one of the championships where Roman's not there. He's on the other one. But I mean, the only way I see LA Knight winning is like if he wins it by some crazy stipulation, but then like within a month, Roman will get
Drops
it.
it later.
You know what? It could be like maybe Oba costs him the title. And we can have like a Drew McIntyre situation that LA Knight is the champion for like maybe a month, maybe 2 months, and then he gets it right back before WrestleMania. I could see something like that going on, because like I said, thankfully they rewarded Drew McIntyre for all his hard work. Because when he became the champion of WrestleMania, it was right in the middle of COVID. There was nobody there. He busted his ass. He busted his ass to do that. So when I look at LA Knight, hopefully, I just don't think they're going to give it to him, man. I just don't.
It goes to show, if I can bring up an instance that happened a while back, Damian Priest even brought it up. It's the same people. It's the same people in the main event. That's, and people wonder why the product has gotten so stale and why it's gotten unwatchable for so many people. Not including the ads, it's because it's the same people over and over and over again. So that's just my 2 cents.
Tony brings up, before we get to Fonzie, Tony wants to know, what do you think is up next for Seth Rollins? That's a very good question.
That's a good question.
Do you think he takes like at least 2 months off, or a month off, or I mean, how long do you think he's going to be gone?
I can't say. I mean, who do you put him up against right away? Who do you have him go up against? That
is a very good question. Because like if it was on SmackDown, that's kind of easy. Like you can put him into the title hunt, even though a lot of people aren't going to like that. If I was on SmackDown, I'd love to see him go up against Trick Williams, guys like that.
Wow, that's a good one.
How about Fatu? And by the way, we haven't even mentioned how crazy Jacob Fatu went on Monday night versus Royce Keys yesterday. I mean, that was tremendous.
Chef's kiss.
Yes, that's the way he's supposed to be, the Samoan werewolf. Yeah. I thought that was amazing. So, like I said, but we know none of those guys are going to get the championship. That's what kind of sucks about Raw when Roman is champion, because they're not going to take it away from him. On SmackDown, it's like a given. Like I can see any one of those guys being CM Punk at any given night any night of the week. So we're going to go to Fonzie, who's been waiting patiently. And I want to get Fonzie's thoughts as to what he has seen. Wow, Fonzie wearing a Texas Tech hat. He's not wearing a Oklahoma hat today. First of all, why are you wearing a Texas Tech hat, my friend? Your family going there?
My daughter graduated from there, so
there you go. There you go. By the way, I'm wearing UTEP cap. Today's the first official practice. UTEP starts to practice today, like literally in 20 minutes, but I'm not there. I am here doing what I love.
It's the only Texas school I go for. Period.
Okay, Fonzie. So first of all, your thoughts on what you saw the last couple of days with the WWE.
Oh, you know what? A lot of surprises, or not big surprises, but there were some surprises. I knew KO would be coming out. I didn't
called
think it
that?
would be like that. I knew Randy Orton would come out. Didn't know which way he was going to side, which we talked about.
Yep.
But it's great to see those two come back, which is great for the business because, you're talking about what's next. Randy Orton could probably jump, could probably stay. There might be some trade-offs in Raw and SmackDown to make this creative a lot better overall because you're right. SmackDown has got stacked for a lot of opponents, and Raw is kind of, it's really just top-heavy at this moment.
Jack, but before you brought something good up. Fonzie. So Jack, if you could, who would you move from? Because I don't think they're going to do the draft this year. Because if they would have done the draft, they'd have already done it. So Jack, who would you move from?
Mania.
Yeah, if you were gonna move somebody from SmackDown to Raw, of like the top heavy guys that Fonzie did talk about, how do you think you would move? You can't move KO and Cody yet because they got to do their thing. But who would you move if you could?
Where's Trick right now?
Trick
Why am I drawing the blank?
He's in SmackDown. He just lost the United States Championship.
I would move Trick over to Raw.
Right.
I'd move him to Raw.
I like that.
I mean, you want that,
Yeah, I would like
you
that.
want that more.
Yep. I like that as well. Fonzie, your thoughts on what you saw with Penta versus Chad Gable? And by the way, congratulations to Chad Gable. Well deserved. We haven't even brought it up. I mean,
awesome.
well deserved. Well deserved.
That was a hell of a match, but now it's going to put Penta as a heavyweight contender now. That's another guy that you can put in there. He may not be the guy to win, but he's a contender to compete.
I don't think they're going to go that route. I think they're going to go. Excuse me for interrupting. I think they're going to go the route. Where they're going to put him with his brother, with Ray Phoenix. They're
the next tag team champions. Oh, I'm sorry.
They did. I know they did a dark match where they actually wrestled together. I think a couple of days ago, and they've kind of because honestly, Penta's been the breakout star. Ray Phoenix wrestled WrestleMania, and he does the main event. What is it even called? That one show, like the side show, not Saturday night's main event. No, the one that's not on Tubi. Yeah. Tubi is the developmental one. But I don't know. So your thoughts on we really have think about, gentlemen, we haven't talked about the CM Punk match. So go ahead, Fonzie. I'll let us know what you thought of the CM Punk match.
Well, the CM Punk match, it's what I expected.
Yep.
There was some times that honestly, to be truthful, I was expecting more pizzazz, but I kind of snoozed off of it because I was like, Jesus, come on. We know who's going to win, but I think they were wanting Cody to turn heel, and that didn't happen. But I'm very happy that CM Punk did win. I don't want Cody Rhodes as the world champion again. I really don't. CM Punk a lot better on the mic. He doesn't sound too monotone. Cody's trying too hard behind the mic, to be honest. And it's just not too natural for him. So, given CM Punk is going to have a whole a top 5 contendership, I can tell you that right now.
Jack,
I agree.
I was going to say, since you brought up Cody Rhodes, let me ask this question of you. Do you think it's a situation, because it reminds me so much of what we saw with
I know
AEW,
where you're going with this.
With
Dude,
AEW,
I was just thinking that.
Where,
I was just thinking that.
The people all of a sudden got sick and tired of Cody Rhodes, and that was honestly one of the reasons why he decided to bounce and go to the WWE. And I thought, and of course, we saw what happened after that. But if you all haven't seen Cody Rhodes when he's been a bad guy, when he was in the independent scene, especially like when he wrestled Nick Aldis for the NWA Championship a couple of years ago, like 6 years ago, whatever. Cody Rhodes was the bad guy, and he's amazing as a heel.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just think it's part of the kind of like where like he has been white hot. He's been the good guy. He's been the Superman of WWE for the past 6 years, 5 years when you think about it. And I think maybe he needs to take maybe like a 2-month break or have a vacation, kind of the way CM Punk did, so people can remember. Jack, your thoughts on what I'm saying?
Let me tell you this right now, man. This is why we're in sync, because that was germinating in my mind as we were talking about that. There's this fear that I have that Cody is going to go down the same route as he was going when he was in AEW. How he was hot, he was white hot, and yet something about him just felt a little off, just felt a little insincere. That he was wearing out his welcome as a face that people wanted. I mean, the crazy thing is that had he turned heel, the crowd would have sided with him as a heel. They would have totally accepted that, and yet he didn't do it. He didn't do it, and they began to resent him for that. And I think that is happening right now over here with WWE, and I think it is happening. I don't think it is, and I think people are getting Cody fatigued. They're getting Cody fatigue right now, so they want him to turn heel.
Okay, so gentlemen,
the Cody Crybabies crying for him. That's what happened.
Yeah.
The question is why? Why are they having the fatigue? I mean, he's doing what he's supposed to do. Why are we as the fans like this, Fonzie?
It just doesn't stick. It doesn't stick.
Yep.
That's the one thing that it just doesn't feel genuine.
Yes.
And that's the one big thing. And he's got to turn heel somewhere down the line. You're talking about how long he should be gone? He should be gone till Survivor Series and come back and join somebody's team.
Turn heel.
And be that heel, because everybody's going to expect him to be Cody's here to save the day. But you know what? I'm going to turn and I'm going to probably be Paul Heyman guy, because you know what? There's been some words in that. He could be a Paul Heyman guy.
Can you imagine that?
That's Paul Heyman in this corner. It's a different.
It'd be awesome.
Andy, by the way, says they're afraid to turn him heel because of merch, because he has.
Oh, come on.
That's what he says. So.
Look at the NWO when you had Hulk.
Oh, come on.
Dude.
Merch would go through the roof.
He has climbed the mountain one too many times. Knowing them, they're going to team up with Danhausen. They're going to do like a rap song or something like that. Speaking of, I got a bigger one. What are they going to do with Joe Hendry? What are they going to do with this dude? Honestly,
it sounds like Elias. The same thing they did with Elias.
This is what sucks. Who cares? I don't even care what they do with him now, because he's had this unfortunate event with the other TNA people that have signed. They've now asked for their release. They have floundered. They have become stagnant. They have done nothing, and they've squandered Joe Hendry. He's a sideshow act now. He's not even a sideshow act now. He's not even an opening act. He's a warm-up to the opener. Is what he is.
What is the name of the guy? Break Wallen. What's Grayson Wallen?
Grayson Wallen.
He did his own version of the pipe bomb on NXT, but one of the NXT guys burned him. Great coming from a guy who couldn't make it in the main roster. Now he's coming over here talking smack about us. But yeah, that's the thing with Joe Hendry, is that like some of the guys, like you start off hot, like he had his WrestleMania match, he's white hot, then I'm telling you what happened. Danhausen happened. They were not banking on Danhausen being this this popular. They had no idea this cat was going to be this popular, moving merchandise, and Joe Hendry is going to be one of those casualties. Like at least he got some form of offense in the match that he got squashed with Braun Breaker when he was able to what's his name, the other Vision guy, the guy that's with the girl, the McMahon guy.
Austin Theory.
Yeah, Austin Theory. At least he got like a clothesline in before he was taken out. So like that kind of gimmick is like good for like NXT, TNA. Like in the WWE, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to maintain something like that. Like I said, it would have hit.
man, if you're with the greatest Intercontinental champion, if you're the honky tonk man.
Yeah, but like I said, like it would have hit if they would have kept trying it. But like I said, he is the Danhausen effect is what's going on with Joe Hendry. But
a wrench into that.
I think they need to move him. I think that's a cat they need to move to SmackDown. I really do. Joe
Danhausen?
Hendry. No, Joe Hendry.
Oh,
no,
Joe Hendry.
I think Danhausen's the type of guy that's going to go back and forth to both. Unless, I don't know. I just don't know what they're going to do.
That's a good point. Move him to SmackDown because I mean he's being wasted away on Raw.
Have him start a feud with Finn Balor and have some type of like back when you have like maybe a series of 5 matches or something like that. You know, like we go back and forth or whatever, and do something like that. Because I don't know, because you try to look at, but that's a problem when you have so much talent on the roster. And so many people, like when you think about some of the people that didn't wrestle at SummerSlam, like Braun Breaker did not wrestle in SummerSlam. The Vision did not wrestle in SummerSlam. No. Think about Bailey did not wrestle in SummerSlam. Of course, the situation a little bit different because we don't know if she's going to stay or go. But think about all that, how limited it is when in reality, like back in the day, they would find a way to get everybody, especially when you got 2 nights now, try to get everybody on the damn show. You know, whether it be a battle royal or something. They don't even do that stuff. So, but
that's the problem that you have when you have a brand split. This is going back to you know the mid 2000s when you had so much talent, you didn't know what to do with them. And so when you got 2 brands, you got 2 championships, you got 2 mid card championships, and yet you still can't find space to put certain people. You've got a problem. You've got a problem.
Before we wrap it up, gentlemen, your thoughts on how they brought back a Big Cass. They brought him in as a serious character. Looked phenomenal. Tremendous shape. Man's like 7 foot tall. You can't teach that. It looks like he's going to be like a powerhouse. Fonzie, what'd you think about that?
You know what? It's great because now it's like a legitimate big man. Now he's playing that almost like that big sexy, that Diesel moment. He's starting to fill into that role, which right now WWE needs some big guys like that, you know, and that's what he's coming in at the right time. He could be dominant and use that size. Use like what Big Kev always says, you're a big guy. You got to be dominated. Don't be taking all these bumps. But he looked great, phenomenal. Good thing, you know, he went through a lot of trials and tribulations when he got fired from the WWE. Woke up, got some discipline, and now he's back, which is great for him.
All right, Fonzie, I'll let Jack respond, but I appreciate you, Fonzie. We'll do it again next week, all right, brother?
All right, brother.
There it is. There's my boy, Fonzie. Jack, your thoughts on how they presented Big Cass on last night?
Yeah, the guy looks great. He looks phenomenal. He's worked on his mic skills. You can definitely tell that. And I really want to see what they're going to do with the guy that is presented as a big guy. I always thought it was so funny how they embellish the heights of certain wrestlers and superstars because Big Cass is 6'9" in real life, and yet they say that he's 7 feet tall. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But that being said,
I was gonna say that because when he was with Javon Evans, I was like, man, Javon doesn't look that small next to him.
No,
but then when they did when the reporter did the interview afterwards, I was like, Jesus, like she doesn't even reach his shoulder. It was hilarious how big he really is.
Those are camera tricks. Those are Apple box camera tricks.
Yeah, that's just the angles. I like how they presented it. You know, let's see if they go something with this. You know. Like I said, I like that Baron Corbin is back, that he's back. But like I said, there's so many people. They're like,
we need title contenders.
What about Rusev now? You know,
forget it.
Have him go against Rusev. Do something. You know, Ethan Page, another guy that came in red hot.
You want to talk about a guy that never should have left AEW? That's Rusev. You know, Ethan Page. I think Ethan Page is doomed to be a mid carder for life. Can I bring up something that?
Yes, sir. What about Ricky Saints? Where's he been at?
Flounder.
I'm just throwing you names of guys that they just brought up. But yet,
this proves my point.
Yep.
It proves my point, Mando. That here you have a brand split. You've got really 2 different federations under one roof, and yet they can't find the time to put everybody in there. even with a 2-night show, they can't find the time to squeeze anybody in there. So,
Yep.
yeah, Rusev has become an afterthought. He's become a total afterthought. He's like, yeah, I want to go to WWE so I can wrestle more, and yeah, and that has not happened. I did want to point something out from earlier that you and I are calling out that we're predicting it's going to be Oba, and Roman. I'm going to be very angry. I'm going to be very angry at something here.
Okay, go
we
ahead.
saw what Brock put Oba through. How many F5s? How many F5s and a tombstone pile driver onto the wood plank floor?
Yep.
Oba kicks out. We even got to see Oba hulk up. He hulked up for all intents and purposes. I would be very disappointed if we got to see Oba against Roman, and then Roman just does one spear and pins Oba 1, 2, 3. That would totally suck. I just started thinking about that.
I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think if Roman does beat him, I
we
think
call it right now.
The one thing they have learned, from what I can tell, is that when it comes to these main events, and how crazy that Roman's been in 2 great main events in the 2 big pay-per-views. A lot of it has to be with the guy that he's been with, but also him. I think they've kind of learned that in the real main events that they're not interfering. So I kind of like that they're doing that. But I think in a match like this, there's going to be a lot of interference. I think it's multiple spears, multiple Superman punches, and
if it's more than 2, I mean, if it's less than 2 spears, I'm gonna be pissed.
How many did he give to Seth on Sunday night? It was like at least 3 or 4, right?
Yeah. So, and if it took how many times? How many times I lost the count here. If anybody out there knows, Mando, if you know, how many F5s did Brock give Oba the other night? How many? Including the
I would say at least 4 for sure. Maybe 5. But I like the one where he took it and he just bounced right up. That's the one that I like the most.
Yeah. And then the tombstone pile driver. You cannot spear this guy twice.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Oh God, I'm gonna be so. Oh no, forget it. I'm calling it right now.
You're setting yourself up for disappointment. That's
Mark
what you're
the
doing.
date.
All right, so we have a couple of months to see if that happens. All right, Jack, that's going to wrap it up. We're at the hour mark. Good job as always. I know it was an all WWE show, but it was because a lot of stuff happened in the WWE because a lot of people came back. Like I said, we didn't even really get to explore the Stephanie and the man situation with Liv Morgan, which I say finally something's going on there. For right now, Felipe wants to know right now, Roman versus Oba, under or over 13? That's going to be over 13 minutes. I would say that's going to be, for sure, that's over. I would bet a lot of money that's going to go over 13 minutes.
We would have to do a new over. The new over for that is going to be
20 minutes.
I'm close. We're in the ballpark. I'm going to say 22 minutes.
All right, and that in comedy, folks, that's called the callback, and that's exactly how we started the show. And Felipe, he ended it for us, and that's how we can't do any better. Felipe with the callback of how we started the show. Jack, good job. Fonzie, good job. Andy, good job. Felipe and everybody else, good job. All right, we'll do it again next week. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, bye.